Alright, what's up everybody? This is Rob Shack. So today we're going to be doing another rival video in my Gran Turismo 3 rival series. We're going to be using the FTO LM race car and racing against the RX-7 LM race car. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share if you're new to the channel. I do a lot of random things, so help me get to 1,000 subs. That'd be awesome. Alright, anyway, moving on. So if you're new to the channel, what I do with this series is I have been basically going through and kind of comparing two different cars of the similar typing, and whether it be race cars with a certain amount of horsepower or American cars or whatever like that. I've been basically just comparing cars, and so this video is going to be the FTO LM race car, obviously, and the RX-7 LM race car. Both cars are really good. I'm going to talk about each one, kind of say my initial thoughts of each and how they are and how they drive and how they perform and everything like that. Kind of give some opinions. Then we'll do an AI race between the two, which will probably be on Gran Turismo All-Star Championship in professional mode, because that's like my favorite race ever in this game. It's very fun to race on that one, as the AI always mess up there, but also you get a lot of cool cars. So it's kind of like the best of everything. And then I'll do a max speed test at the end, and that seems to be kind of the way that people like, the order of the way these videos go. So yeah. That's kind of what we've been doing, and I kind of talk while I drive the car live because I'm an authentic channel and I don't like to re-record things later. I like to just kind of let y'all know how I'm feeling in the moment. That means, that's just how I do it. I don't know. Everybody does it differently, so I'm not like against anybody else, but that's just kind of the way I do it. I don't like to be... Oh, my controller just died. Hold up. Let me restart it. My controller is freaking out on my PlayStation here. Alright, we're going to restart it because I slammed into a wall there because the controller died. PS2, right? So, yeah, that's what I've been doing with this game is I've been going through and just kind of racing all the cars, just trying them out, seeing which ones I like more out of the little rival series. I've noticed with Gran Turismo 3 that polyphony kind of basically to compensate for not having a lot of cars because they focused on quality, which I appreciate because this game looks beautiful almost 20 years later. Actually, wait. It's been 20 years. This came out in 2001, right? Okay, so it's been 20 years. That's crazy. So, yeah, so this game came out 20 years ago and it looks great even to this day, which is pretty shocking because most games that come out at that time either look like this or they look completely terrible. So, I think they did a great job with that. So, in order to compensate for the lack of quantity and focusing on quality, they basically created a lot of very similar types of cars so that when you did races, you kind of had these, there's just an extra layer of depth between the cars because you have a lot of cars that are in very similar demographics in terms of, performance. You have the classics are the ones that I've done so far are like the R390 GT1 and the Toyota GT1, and I've done the Corvette C5R and the Viper GTSR Team Areca. Those are also very similar cars. If you look at my last week video, I have the Corvette, I did the Mustang SVT and the Camaro SS. So those two are very similar as well. And then I think I have the Denso Sard and the Castrol Tom Supra, where it's very similar cars, and they do that because they basically want you to have two different, options to choose from. There's a train outside my house too. Boy, this video is just super authentic up in here, so hopefully y'all like it. Drop a like, right? Give me some subscribers, whatever. So, yeah, I noticed that Gran Turismo 3 specifically is very much like that. There's a lot of very similar cars in these demographics, and I think it's a good idea because it allows it to you don't need to have every single car ever in the game, because the overcompensation was with Gran Turismo 2, there was basically like 1 million cars that were all very, very similar, but I liked that because that allowed for variety in one-meg races. But in this game, they don't really do that, but they basically have like, rival cars, which I think, they're both good. They're both good in very different ways. That's how Gran Turismo 2 was able to have so many cars, is because they had like 600 cars, but it was like, if you look up the Cerebras, there's like a 4.0, a 4.2, a 4.5, and the Cerebra Speed 6 were all in Gran Turismo 2, and they did not do that ever again. And like, I get it because it's like people probably thought that was lazy, but I'm like, well, then when you have the 1-meg race, you can have 4 different types of cars, and that's pretty cool. So anyway, I've been talking way too long about things that aren't this car. The FTO LM Edition is actually one of my favorite cars in the game. I really like it. Its handling is insane. It's probably, honestly, it's one of the fastest cars off the line. And you notice that when I started it, this car can fly in its first like 3 gears. It's very fast. It's super noticeable even when you race in the GT All Stars. The FTO LM Edition has a quicker start than the GT1, the R390, the 787B. It will always gain on them, and I'm hoping to get that with the AI race, that we can race. I'll show you that even the AI FTO can kind of dominate at the beginning. It's a lot. You notice a slowdown though, obviously, right when it gets up to the higher speeds. It doesn't have the same horsepower as the GT1 and R390, but it is so fast off the line. I didn't really pay attention to how much it weighs, but both the RX-7 and the FTO have like about 960 horsepower fully tuned in this game, which is very, very good. It's that type of speed where you can definitely, on Laguna Seca, you can definitely rival the, if you're playing as these two cars, you can 100% rival the R390, the GT1, just because this car is so quick and it has such good handling. And so I'm not remembering, honestly, it's been a while since I've driven the RX-7, so I'm going to kind of get my live reaction when I get to it. But for the RX-7 has a strong race against it right now. The FTO is super fast, super quick, and has a lot of handling. It's very, very, it's a very well-made car, very quick, and it looks fantastic, honestly. Especially with the, when we do race on Laguna Seca and you see how it has like a whole bunch of little headlights all over the place. The RX-7 does that too. So that's also I like how cars look in this game. The livery for this car is very good. And I think it's totally fictional. It's based on the FTO LM edition from Gran Turismo 1 and 2, but it just looks so good. And we have done a 413 there, which is really good for this type of car. Given that it doesn't have over 1,000 horsepower, that rivals a lot of the cars we've already used in this series. So yeah, the FTO, my goodness, very good, very quick off the line, great handling, sounds great, looks great, very good car all around. And so now we're going to switch over to the RX-7. All right, now we are on to the Mazda RX-7 LM race car, another beautiful car, very iconic in these games. They've been having RX-7s around for a long time. I noticed that with Gran Turismo 1 and 2, they had the LM edition for everything, which was, I guess, their way of making fictional cars, and then they just changed it to LM race cars in this game. I don't know what was the deal with that, but basically it's the same car as the Mazda RX-7 LM edition. I don't think it's similar to the A-Spec LM edition, because I don't know if y'all remember this with Gran Turismo 1 and 2. They also had the RX-7 A-Spec LM edition, and I don't really know why they did that. I guess just to kind of add another car, which I was okay with because I like the A-Spec's look. So I guess maybe this is more of an A-Spec look, because it has the spoiler and it has the, like, you know, the finishes on the car itself. So that's probably more of an A-Spec. But yeah, okay. So RX-7 LM edition, or LM race car, very, very good car. It definitely sounds awesome. It has that, they kind of have that iconic sound for the rotary engine that's not a, obviously the 787B has its own sound, and nothing else in this game is even remotely similar to how that thing sounds. But all Mazdas in this game kind of have that sound. It has that, I guess it's the rotary engine that they just kind of have a recording. Similarly to all the cars in this game that are Mazda, they pretty much put a rotary engine. If there's a rotary engine in it, it has that kind of scream to it. A little bit higher RPMs, because that's kind of that's the rotary engine's appeal, is that you can get higher RPMs, although it's a lot less fuel efficient, but you can generate a lot of power with less horsepower. So I think that's kind of the thing that the Wankel rotaries are known for, and they give it that iconic sound in these games. And then obviously with the tuning of this car, they kind of mix a few sounds in there, so it sounds really good. I think I would actually give the sound to the RX-7, honestly, in this game, because of I just love that sound. The Mazda sound in these games are just fantastic. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at with this one. In terms of power, I definitely think the FTO is quicker off the line in the first few gears, but obviously when they give you when you have a rotary engine, you're going to have a lot more power in the higher RPM. So I think this car, I noticed going off the straightaway there, it seems like the FTO definitely has a lot of slowdown later in later gears, but the RX-7 is a little bit more consistent. That doesn't surprise me, because that's kind of the rotary engine's thing, is it's able to generate a lot of power and be very efficient with that power. Even though it's fuel inefficient, it's able to get a lot of power with less horsepower. And since this car only has like 20 horsepower less, it doesn't surprise me that this car can kind of go really fast in the higher gears as well. It doesn't have that drop off that the FTO does. In terms of handling, honestly, they're both really good. I didn't really expect that. I didn't expect the FTO to have this amazing handling. Or I knew the FTO was going to have a lot of good handling just because of the FTO being what it is. I kind of thought the RX-7 would be a little bit harder to control. I think generally it is, but it's not that noticeable, honestly. It's not like as noticeable as when you drive the Escudo versus the R390. It's like not even close. With this car, I'm like, yeah, this thing is got some good grip too. It's able to really hold its own as it turns. It doesn't really, I don't really find it losing control like I kind of thought it was going to. No offense to Mazdas, I just thought that it was going to be a little bit more harder to handle. And it seems to be holding its own very, very well. I mean, I'm obviously going to push it because I want to see just how long it takes before it kind of loses control. And it honestly stays under control very well. I'm very impressed. So the handling aspect of it is kind of a toss-up to me, and I think I kind of want to know what everyone thinks about that too. I mean, what car do you think is the best of these two? I think I already said that at the beginning of the video, but just in case I didn't, I do want to hear what people think. What are people's ideas of which car they think is better? It's just interesting to me, and I also want to see suggestions of what people want in this series, because this is kind of fun stuff for me. A lot of people gave a lot of good suggestions, which I'm working through on the first video, but I want to see some more. So let me know in the comments. But yeah, I think I don't know, honestly, with the handling. I think they're both very good. I think the FTO has the straight line speed from like, 0 to 100, and then I think the RX-7 has it from 100 to, top speed area. So I think that's kind of one of those things where it depends on the course you go on. But in terms of handling, yeah, both very good. And then in terms of aesthetics, they both look really good. I think the silver RX-7 LM race car isn't as good of a looking car, but I also have the white FTO, and they both, to me, don't look as good as the like blues and the reds. They both look really good in those colors. So I'm kind of like, I think I have the less appealing version of each one. But in terms of the livery, I think I would give the livery to the FTO. The Mazda's is a little bit bland, but not too bad. So I don't really know which one I actually choose here. I mean, since they are rivals, it's supposed to be a close contest here. I think in terms of handling, I would slightly give it to the FTO, but really not by much. And then in terms of power, I think I would give it slightly to the RX-7 because, pretty much every race in this game has a long straight, and that's where the RX-7 is able to really keep up or pass the FTO. The FTO might gain a little bit on corners, but the Mazda can hold its own pretty well in those areas too. It's a very close fight. And then in terms of, looks and sounds, I think the FTO looks a little better, the Mazda sounds a little better. So that's not really, it's a pretty ambiguous answer. I think I like them both very much. Yeah, they both have really cool headlights too, but that's not really that important. So now we'll move on to the AI race on GT All-Stars. So I'll cut out the part where I switch around things and we'll get it going. Alrighty, here we go. This is the replay of this race. This is the FTO and the RX-7 dueling it out. It's actually a pretty funny video. A lot of good spins. I basically troll the R390 and the GT1 the whole race, so that's that. But you'll see that it's a good little battle between them and the S2000, and I enjoy it. I make the GT1 spin out here, which is hilarious, and then the S2000 goes flying off the road up there in front, and then there's this big battle up here. I basically try to get the FTO and the RX-7 to be in the front, but the S2000 is kind of like also a rival and is also chilling around there. So I turned into just kind of like trying to mess with the R390 to get him out of the way of them. But it's pretty funny. A lot of good stuff here. Some good AI fails, some good pitting fails from the R390 and the GT1. So this will be a good one. But yeah, it's good times. So I won't talk too much so that you can just kind of enjoy the video. But it was good. It was a lot of fun to do this. And then next up after this, we'll do a top speed test for the RX-7 and the FTO. We'll get that going. So that'll be after this replay. Enjoy the spins. Enjoy the battle between the RX-7 and the FTO. And yeah, have a great day.